Welcome to the Legion Outriders podcast, a member of the Radio Free Tattooing Network.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Your source for the latest Legion news, opinion, and analysis.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
John Archiquette.
Will somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way?
Matt Turner.
I'm not afraid.
And Joshua Gray.
You will be.
What's going on, Outriders? John, Josh, and Matt. Back at you again. No LJ this time, unfortunately. We still love you, LJ. Don't worry.
He's my fill-in. That's basically what that is.
He's the cream to your Oreo. Your hit.
No.
The apple to your fruit pie.
I'm trying real
Marine
hard.
Recon Squad to your attack helicopter.
What?
You're filling.
Yes, that's it.
Give me some more time. I'll think of some more. Or not. Let's.
He's my Jay Leno to my Johnny Carson.
Okay.
There you go.
Old
That
school.
works.
There it is.
Ah, yes.
All the millennials have now turned off the podcast. It's all good. Anyway, guys, what's going on?
Hi.
Legion Outriders. We're
Hi.
We're here to talk about some Star Wars Legion stuff because
Yeah.
no
bit.
one else is.
Nobody else. Yeah, there's not enough content creators out there. So
Oh,
luckily
are we starting this
no,
again?
No, we're not.
Are we going to go in on this?
No.
No,
Like, honestly,
absolutely not.
the content creators have stepped up to fill the gap left by FFG marketing. Speaking of filling,
They've got.
they have a
marketing?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Question mark?
No, I did meet somebody that said that they did the thing.
FFG marketing. Bark twice if you're in Minneapolis.
I have words on this topipic, but for later.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about some of that stuff later on in the show.
Strong words.
We're gonna talk
Sympathetic
about some cool new game modes that the community's kind of come up with, and then we're also gonna do our own little spin on it.
Something to shake things up a little bit.
Something that doesn't involve triple snipers at all times. And we're gonna talk about our local tournament, the little thing called LVO, because apparently that made a little bit of a deal.
Popular, I guess.
Yeah, baby.
People want to come to Las Vegas and push plastic people around.
I know I do.
Or something.
The three of us do.
Aren't they on Fremont Street?
No.
Oh,
So we're going to talk about that and
got all the love for my plastic people.
What the latest news is on that. But first, let's talk a little bit Star Wars news, Matt.
Star Wars news. There is no release dates for anything on pre-order for anything Fantasy Flight for Legion.
Wow.
The end. Yeah. No ATST, destroyed or otherwise. No Sabines, no Dewbacks, no Tauntauns. Everything is just meh.
Meanwhile, everyone over in the UK is posting pictures of their, finished 8-down ATSTs, and it's like, oh, that must be nice.
Must be nice.
And I look at all of those posts because of what it is, and I'm just like, oh, that's precious. Bless your heart. You have a terrain piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Congrats.
At least if it was like Sabine or Bosk or anything.
Right. I'd be torqued.
Oh, the wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Yeah, I'd be torqued. But it's like, oh, something you can't really use except for a homebrew game.
We just jump on the Element Games website here, get my Sabine in the mail.
Well, it's probably best off, especially right now with the implications of Worlds coming up, that it is just the downed ATST. Imagine if this was the Sabine and Bosk release, and
That's the implication.
Well, we've got people in Worlds who are not American players who. What are the rulings on that?
Right. What is FFG considered a released product?
Exactly.
Right. I mean, if it's not released in America, where the majority of the player base is.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a
separate.
I know they have separate distribution for the EU. I'm curious though if it is ever officially released or people just kind of like, well, they showed up, we're going to sell them now.
Yeah, I mean, because if you look on like the FFG homepage, and they do their release today.
What does the FFG UK homepage say?
Right,
Yeah.
but if you look on the FFG page, like there's no announcement that it's released, that it's out in the wild, that it's like a legal product. So,
well, plus doesn't their tournament document say that it has to be 2 weeks or 10 days?
11 days.
11 days
yeah.
prior. So if it's officially released, yet people in America don't have access to it, and at Worlds all of a sudden, there's some guy from the UK who shows up with Bosk,
Right?
and none of the American players have it.
Or somebody paid $70 to have Bosk sent from Australia.
Sure.
Yeah, right?
Less in European.
Right. I mean, I guarantee
like
you
that,
that if you're playing at Worlds, you're probably going to put the money down to actually buy it from somebody in the UK. That's a whole different issue. But still, the accessibility there shouldn't be that big of a disparity between what we can get here in the States and what you can get elsewhere. A few days here and there, okay, I get it, but
I wonder if some of the World's players are like, man, if I could get a Bosk right now, they're like, who's even talking about Bosk?
Right.
I'm not taking him. You guys are crazy.
well, what?
I don't know.
Bosk?
I'm just saying. Yeah, I understand the range 4
Oh.
is pretty good, but it would
Bosk
just be
is
funny. if
really good.
Nobody cared about it though.
Oh, if nobody did,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
Thanks, Obama. That's all I've got to say about that.
Sincerely, thank you.
No, there's actually
everything
more
you
I've
did.
got to say about that. Is this the time to say that?
No,
No,
well,
we're still doing Star Wars news.
Okay, well.
Okay,
are we
so
gonna-
release
So we're
dates.
going to readdress this later then?
Yes.
Okay.
For those paying attention to the Fallen Order from Respawn, the new Electronic Arts Star Wars games, they're supposed to have some live play coming up in the next couple of days. I believe June 8th. Got to find out what platform it's going to be on. Probably be on Twitch, but I'm excited to see that. Have you seen the full trailer for that yet, John?
all right, so I'm still trying to digest all the words that you use that I don't understand. What is a live play?
Vidya games. How about that?
Okay,
We're
I
actually going to
understood that.
see people playing the game.
Okay, so you're not
all
going to
we've
actually
seen
get
is
to
like
play it.
concept art and the like trailer, and things like
Which
that.
was all cinematics.
Oh.
No actual gameplay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you actually get to play it?
No. They're going to be broadcast.
Somebody else is going to be
Somebody
playing.
we get
You
to watch them
somebody
play.
else play.
But we get an idea
Yeah,
of what the
pass.
game's going to be.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Hard pass.
All right.
Hey, Baldur's Gate 3 was announced today, so
Oh,
I'm all kinds of
yeah,
happy.
that's
By the
cool.
studio that did the Divinity Original Sin series. So
Oh, really?
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, Divinity Real. I mean, that they're a worthy successor to the Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Baldur's.
But back to the Fallen Order thing. Did they say, is it going to be along the lines of a Jedi Knight, the Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight kind of game?
Basically, it looks like kind of a third-person
I guess
action
we'll find out. Yeah,
thing.
but it's supposed to be open world too, so you can do a lot
Okay.
of running around.
like
and
a
traveling.
GTA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
that,
Grand Theft Airspeeder.
Yeah.
Basically.
You had me at like open world.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
if
pretty
it's
excited for it.
sandbox-ish, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
We'll see, but that's coming up. Also, D23 Expo coming up at the end of August, August 23rd for the 25th. They said that they're going to be previewing some more Mandalorian content. Speculation is they'll also have some Rise of Skywalker, all that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
Where'd you get the
But-
spiffy shirt, Matt?
A little place called Star Wars Celebration.
Oh.
For the people who don't have the visuals on what Matt's
He's wearing
shirt
a
is.
Rise of Skywalker t-shirt
Exactly,
Oh.
yeah.
with
Okay.
the movie.
No, I'm wearing the
logo.
T-shirt that makes it look like I'm wearing Leia's metal bikini.
It must not be working for me.
Yeah, must not.
Which is great because I'm cosplaying his Jabba the Hutt later on today.
Ooh.
Right?
Mibuki.
In time, you will come to love him. Yeah, right?
But other than that, that's kind of it for newsy news.
Okay. Well, the big news, I think, locally here or within the Legion community lately has been the release of LVO tickets. So
They were in the wild for about a half an hour.
man.
Hope you acted fast.
I'm glad because I was looking, I was like, I'll get it later today. I was like, I'm sitting here, might as well grab them now. Oh boy.
And the funny thing is, I'm sitting there with the LVO website up at because they went on sale at 8 a.m. Saturday local time. I'm there at 7:40. Refresh.
Wow, I didn't remember getting a notification from you saying, "Hey, man, if you really want to make sure you get your ticket, maybe you should, jump on." It's lucky that
I figured you were
LJ.
sleeping in, but
I mean, I was, but LJ posted up the link, and I was like, "Oh yeah, let me click on that." Oh, do.
But I
got
was
it.
chatting with John,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, and I'm like, "Are you playing this? Dude, are you playing that? Dude, are you playing this?" Because I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna buy tickets for.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'll get it later. It's not gonna sell out."
Well, so
and I'm just like,
I mean, it sat around for
Right.
weeks, if not months, last year. So
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think people quite understood yet what it was going to turn into. So, and he's like, "I'll wait," and I'm like,
Well,
sure."
So I just happened to wake up at pretty much 5 minutes to 8 for no reason whatsoever, just other than the sunshine.
Probably
in my
because
room.
your phone was dinging because I was messaging.
That could be.
Yeah.
Well, so I look at my phone and Josh sent me a bunch of messages. I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that was going on sale today. Okay.
Yeah.
And me being the, person who likes to procrastinate on everything, I was like, I'll get it later. I mean, I bought my tickets months after they went on sale last year. And just on a whim, he's asked me all this. I'm like, all right, look, let me just go buy the tickets now so I don't have to deal with it later. And I didn't look at what the actual things were. I saw triple play. I saw doubles. I saw triple play, and then the tournament and the narrative. So I went and did the tournament thing, of course, and then the narrative thing is like, oh, cool, Sunday. I like narrative stuff, so I'm going to do that. And then Josh was like, oh, you want to do doubles, but at the same time as the round 2 of the tournament. I'm like,
I said it was concurrent with the cut. He's like, I don't even know what that means.
Well, yeah, he's like, oh, strength schedule, Swedish House Mafia, switching, whatever the tournament format is. I don't know.
Swiss.
Yeah,
Swiss.
Sorry.
The most unaggressive format out there.
Everyone just goes 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Is that how the Swiss format works?
And then you get a knife.
That works.
Yeah, and some chocolate.
And a nice watch.
And a bunch of paintings that just showed up out of nowhere.
And possibly some offshore bank
Happy
accounts.
75th anniversy
Of
of the
D-Day.
D-Day.
Yep, there you go. See, I'm glad you looped that in for me. Yeah. Yeah, but John's like, Legion won't sell out right away. I
did say that.
Well,
However,
I was fully expecting to be the full 128 that we were talking about last year, so I was like, oh, we got some time. It's like, no, they only put up 64. However, if you did not get your ticket, please do. They have a waiting list, right? Get on the waiting list. They're looking at increasing it to the 128. Yeah. So I know LJ is working on that furiously right now. LJ, keep working.
This instant.
Yes.
Work,
So-
LJ. Do it.
I mean,
Do it.
that shows like a lot of growth in a year. Where last year it took months to sell 64 tickets, and still, I mean, the fact that they got 64 was really good for a first time showing for a game. But yeah, the fact that the 64 sold out within a few hours tops, and
It sold out in like an hour.
Yeah,
Like, not within a few, like an hour.
and there's some
Wait,
notable
this year?
players.
No, it was 4 hours.
Was it 4
Yeah,
hours?
LJ. Yeah, because I was not awake at 8 o'clock. So I was probably one of the last schlubs to get in there.
But I mean, there are some notable players who didn't get tickets right away.
My chances just went up.
And I think that's gonna, that's gonna definitely push for them to try to get to 128. Now, there's a couple things that's gonna basically rest upon. I know LJ said that he has to go through Frontline Gaming because
space.
Yeah, because LVO is a Frontline Gaming event.
Yes.
And believe it or not, even though it's near and dear to our hearts, Legion is not the premier event at LVO. Yet, right? We're coming for you, GW. So we're gonna need to, like, number one, fight for space. Number two, work with them to try to, get.
We're going to
2
open up
days
our own
for-
convention with Black Jacket. Well, no, I already have that. Never mind.
Yeah, good luck with that.
The LVA.
The Outrider Open.
No, I wouldn't want to do that. But Las Vegas, all right.
But they also are trying to work with FFG to get more Worlds invites from it too, because originally I think it's only 2 Worlds invites come from LVO, and if they move up to 128, they want to try to get the top 4, which would be awesome. That'd be great, especially having 128 people. I mean, what's the cut going to be then for that? Because it was going to go to top 8. Would it be top 16 for the second day then?
I don't know.
$1 million.
You're right.
I mean, I'm just
not
basically
sure.
speculating on math here, but
I don't do math.
Let's call up our Swiss friend and see what he has to say.
right.
Hans! How many make the cut? I'm sure LJ will comment and let us know.
Yeah.
Would you like some hot chocolates? I don't know.
But either way, I'm happy all 3 of us managed to get our tickets, and we'll definitely try to do the same thing from last year, where we'll have a meetup the night before and get some games here. And
Well, there's
yeah.
going to be a lot
Power
more
9.
games this year. Like last year, it was the one day of the tournament, and that was it.
Yeah.
You did 4 rounds, and then they did the cut right after that, and then that was it. You've got a doubles tournament that's going to run that second day concurrent with the cut, which kind of sucks. And then there's a narrative play event the next day on Sunday that's a two game event. So
And
there's a lot more out there this year.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what they come up with for the narrative play event. I think it sounds kind of cool.
Down to ATSTs.
All three of them that are being imported from
Right.
the three wealthiest kings of Europe.
Well,
The Pentaveret.
There's going to be like some Saudi sheik somewhere that has it just unopened, sitting on a
Did you not know?
747 somewhere. Yeah.
Plastic is made from oil.
I
Why
think
does your Saudi sound like a Russian?
I don't know. I've got like one voice.
either way, it just sounds like a bad
Man
guy
of
from
it.
Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
That's all-
Tim Curry. Wait.
So he's somebody from the Brotherhood of Nod,
Yeah.
right? Look at me making video game references.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, only
So
like
proud of my boy.
20 plus years late. But
He's all
it's-
grown
hey.
up.
That's all the video games that I know. Okay.
Hey, they're remastering Red Alert. It's okay.
I'm so excited for
Me
that.
too.
Nice. So, with the narrative thing, I think it'd be kind of cool to see if. I'm hoping it's going to be like a mass battle kind of thing. That
Would be cool.
That would be awesome. Like, because they do it for like 30K.
Just one large table.
yeah, like
Is that the game in 40K, 30K where you finally get to use like 240 inches of range on a weapon?
It'd be like Apocalypse. Apocalypse
Yeah.
would do that, but
It would be kind of fun to just like you have a giant like 18-foot by 6-foot table, and on the caddy corner, and like, hey, your layover there is getting shot by snipers. Just ruin their day from a distance.
I think that would be the only time I would ever want to see an AT-AT in this game.
Probably, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
just
well,
for a
that makes
mass
sense.
battle with like over 2,000 points worth of models, then you can put an AT-AT in there.
I know there's people that got them out there too. So
Right.
the Revel or the Whiz Kids ones.
Oh, yeah.
Popcorn buckets.
Popcorn. So.
I'm serious.
No, I know.
But like as a stand-up AT-AT?
Uh-huh.
Oh, really?
That was the site of my greatest failure. Don't you
Right?
remember?
I do. Oh, I do.
Oh, thanks.
That wasn't your failure to get the
The popcorn.
Darth
buckets.
Vader
Oh no,
celebration?
that was my second greatest
Okay.
failure. Yes, I've got so many failures. Also, my performance at LVO. Anything else we want to throw on there? The Matt Feelgood Express.
I don't know. I think your LVO. I think that's just too
That's my
all encompassing.
Well, if I had actually
because
won
like
the
failures
Golden Spoon.
4, 5, 6, and 7 should be games 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, that's
at
true.
LVO.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're right. You're
yeah.
right.
That's
A subsection
Well, actually,
bracket.
game
you know.
7 should be failure number 3 because that's the one where you dumped a game to a T47.
I'll show you my flow chart of failures later. We can adjust things as we need to.
Is there a pie chart?
Yeah.
I love pie.
We could just do
And
like
charts.
we could do like an annual like list.
Being friends with Josh is one of them, also. So
I can confirm.
We could do like now you've got Matt's greatest failures, volume 1 and 2. Kids Bop, Matt's greatest failures.
Matt's greatest misses. Yeah, I don't get the hits. I'll just have 5 blank red dice, as the cover photo.
Well, speaking of greatest misses, watch this transition. I'm really missing some good FFG articles right now.
Yeah. Or any articles.
Ooh, you really transported me
I
there.
know,
Sir.
right?
Nicely done.
Man,
I'd like a
Edward R.
bad
Murrow.
FFG article.
Oh.
I mean,
yeah. At this point,
Lol,
yeah.
Star Wars, lightsabers, whoosh. The end. On
So-
a boat.
yeah. Without getting into like the whole tariff issue or whatever of why things aren't being actually physically shipped to stores.
Is this being blamed on the terrorists?
Why do you think we haven't seen any news since, other than like that paint article? We haven't seen anything in well over a month.
because they don't want to.
Shall we speculate?
Yes, let's speculate because that's what we do here. Reckless speculation.
Reckless speculation.
I don't think they want to build hype for something that they don't know when it's going to come out. Because
Because it works so well for Armada.
Yeah, right.
Just shh. We don't talk.
Because I mean, I don't know. I just
If you're gonna like go ahead and-
Conversely, what if they're saving up all the great stuff for like Gen Con and all the Clone Wars announcements? They're just kind of like, oh, we got so much stuff in the hopper, and it's just gonna like bam, 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 bam. But this is the
you
calm
gotta
before the
lead
storm.
people with breadcrumbs.
But
you
I
don't
mean-
just like drop an entire loaf of bread and then leave people hanging
I
for
will
a month.
beat you to death
It's
with
not
a loaf of bread.
even-
A baguette, even a stale baguette.
it's not even Clone Wars stuff because we've still got preview articles for Shores. We got preview articles for
We got the-
Dewbacks,
Tauntauns, Rebel Vets.
Rebel Vets, and Bosk. We've got 5 releases that we could be getting preview articles for, and we're not getting anything.
And other than the clone troopers and the B-1 battle droids, there's still 4 other things in that box set we haven't seen previews for. And the only reason we know about Obi-Wan's card is because somebody just happened to serendipitously point it out to you at Star Wars Celebration.
There you go, Matt. You've got a greatest hit.
Hey! And that was
You moved the needle in a positive
somebody
way.
else's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, the thing
wait, but before he got the greatest hit for that, but he also failed to get the picture of that of the point
points.
value.
This is true.
So there was a greatest.
You win
miss.
some, you lose
Everything's
some.
coming up Millhouse.
Yeah. I mean, to me, the thing that kind of bugs me is don't leave your player base in the lurch with why things aren't out.
Sure.
Like, listen, I can
Would you like
understand.
to hear a release date for something that's coming out Star Wars related from FFG?
Sure.
Outer Rim will be out on the 13th.
Ugh. Whatever.
I mean, looks fun.
Yeah, sure.
You're a board gamer. You should be excited.
Yeah, that game doesn't do much for me. But
You don't
anyways.
like the Firefly game? Oh, okay.
No.
Never mind then.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
You know, whatever the reason is, tell your people.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's sitting here in the lurch wondering what the hell's going on.
A little more
Don't let people fill in the
Information.
gaps themselves.
like we're
You
doing
know?
right now.
Yeah.
Right. Just tell people, hey, due to tariff issues, if that's what it is, you know, here's the situation, right? And I think what they end up losing out on is, you know, if it is tariffs, you know, if that's the only way, you know, when you look at like the political process and things like that, people don't vote or people don't get involved, call their congressman or whatever until
It affects them.
it
personally.
affects them, right?
Sure, yeah.
And I can't necessarily look around a game store and say that that's the most politically active and engaged group, right? You're not.
I voted
doing
for
your-
Nader. Wait.
I voted for Gary Johnson. It's okay. You're not doing yourself any favors if it is, you know, you've got the boat, the famed FFG boat, turning donuts out in the Pacific Ocean because they don't want to bring the ship ashore because it's, you know, they're going to be smacked with a bunch of money.
I thought it was because of the extra pirate activity.
Yar!
Yeah, the Pirates
What
of
are
the
they going around the
Caribbean.
Horn of Africa now?
Yep. They're
Okay.
coming over.
Look at me. I'm the distributor now. But, you know, tell your people. You know, tell your people, hey, it's tariffs. So then they can pick up the phone and call their congressman. You know, you're making it worse by not telling people because then you're not engaging your player base.
Right.
Like
Well,
you're
My constituents cannot play with their plastic soldiers, and this will not stand.
I think they're
Hey.
smart for not making it a political issue. By even talking about it, just, you know, don't alienate any of your player base. Just leave it off that. But you're right. Give some idea as to when you should expect it. Even if it's just a delayed for, you know, X period of time.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's necessarily you've got to wade into politics to do it. Just say because of the tariffs, we're not releasing this.
We're having to
You
figure
know,
it out.
You're
whether
not
that
making
means-
a value judgment there. You're just
Yeah.
saying it's a dollars and cents issue. That
I'm wondering if they're
you know,
really considering. Sure, they announced the prices for these things ahead of time, and they're like, well, now it's going to be $18 for this figures, or
That's the
you know,
thing. Is it a
$35
worse
for
look
True
to have
Bots.
to increase the price,
I don't think
or
so.
is it a
or just
worse
eat the difference? Yeah,
I don't think it is.
I don't think the company's going to eat the difference.
Yeah,
I don't think so either.
No, they're gonna-
they're
that
gonna
gets passed
they're
on to the
either
consumer,
going to
but-
pass it on to the consumer or the retailers, or
Yeah.
like they do with the play mats at this
Well,
point.
and you know, part of that goes into kind of the other point with not telling anybody. They know we're a bunch of people that are gonna come hell or high water buy what they shovel at us anyways. So who cares if they tell us?
We've been
you know?
fortunate to have the price point we have had.
Sure,
Exactly.
for this
Yeah,
stuff.
but we're gonna buy it no matter what. So who cares? You know.
Sure.
You know.
And I think it's just a matter of, you know, are they going to change their distribution model, or is it going to change their price point? Something
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely. And I totally agree with Josh's statement there. I'm sure there's a vocal segment of the population that will absolutely be furious if they try to adjust the prices, though.
Oh, there will be.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Rightly or
I mean, there's
wrongly.
plenty of gamers
Yeah.
on a budget, right?
Sure.
You know, for every guy that goes out there and buys 6 downed ATSTs because they think it just makes a great battlefield, there's going to be that one person
This is investment terrain.
You know, there's going to be that one person that's, you know, pinching pennies to try and buy a Commander expansion that's $12.
Or maybe not,
You
but
know?
just even the outrage of a price spike after they announced one price.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
All the Karens of the world unite with one single furious void.
Aren't you glad you're a manager?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I'd like to speak to you.
Great.
But with, having a delay in stuff coming out, that obviously affects what units are playable, and seeing a lot of RPQs and, competitive games going on right now, and we're seeing kind of a stagnation in the meta. And I think
we were talking about it before. The last thing to really shake up the meta was Krennic DTs.
That was 2 months ago.
Over
More
2
than
months
that.
ago, because the X-34 and tanks, while fun, did not really move the needle all that much.
Yeah.
No.
At least in our local area and from what I understand in others.
No, I've actually been trying to seek out playing a game against a tank because I just have not had the game against a tank yet.
Yeah.
Just so I can experience what it's like to play against it.
I'll give you a game against a tank.
Good. Do it. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Hank the Tank. Let's go.
But, in the meantime, I'm trying to figure out ways to play games that don't involve just triple snipers. And
So was Frank the Tank.
Whatever.
so we'll take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk about some of the ways that you can kind of change up the, kind
Your
of
play
the
experience,
minutia
yeah.
of your game experience.
You're listening to the Legion Outriders podcast, a member of the Radio Free Tatooine Network, recorded on location at Power 9 Games. Whether you're looking for the latest releases from Legion, X-Wing, 40K, Magic, or any of our other extensive inventory of board and card games, head to power9games.com and use coupon code OUTRIDER10 to get 10% off your order. Plus, shipping is free on orders over $100. Now, back to the Outriders.
Welcome back, Outriders. John, Josh, and Matt. So we're talking about stuff that we can do individually to kind of get over some of the doldrums of playing some of the same lists that we see over and over again. And one option, of course, is to try out other games. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that, Legion is
Heresy!
Legion's
Burn him! Do you weigh as much as a duck?
I float.
Oh.
How many nipples do you have?
Do you want to know? I know the answer.
Oh.
Do you want to know?
No.
Okay.
Let me
It's a
use
nubbin.
my
The third one's a nubbin.
imagination.
Who wants to touch my nubbin?
So I know, Josh,
Wahlberg.
that you were talking about how you really wanted to try out this new FFG Lord of the Rings board game.
Oh, it's amazing. It's phenomenal. Yeah, Journeys to Middle-earth. Picked it up the day it launched.
Yeah,
actually.
it's been over a month
half?
now. Yeah.
It's a different kind of game than what I'm used to. It's not your typical board game where there's like a board and you move your pieces around the board. They have a bunch of tiles and it's app enabled, which is so cool.
What, like jalapeno poppers?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. No,
Sounds
it's
delicious.
mozzarella sticks.
Oh.
Fried, not baked.
Oh. Ugh. I would hope.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
So what you do is it feels very Lord of the Rings, but you start out and it's like place this one tile down and you put all your guys on that tile. And then the app basically narrates the adventure for you. And it's a fully narrated it's not voice acted, but there's wall of text that if you have somebody who's good at narrating things, you can have a well narrated adventure. And as you go and do things and interact with the game, it tells you to put down more tiles, and the road goes ever onward, kind of thing.
Sing the song now.
No,
The road goes ever.
only
ever
elves sing.
on.
Anyway,
That didn't sound like Arms of an Angel.
but it's great. It's a really fun game. And yeah, if you're looking for something that's kind of and every game
Another
can be
FFG
played,
product, yeah.
every game can be played in about a half an hour, 45 minutes if you know what you're doing and you don't stop to explain all the rules.
Do you do voices for the orcs?
No, I don't do voices for the orcs.
Did you
But I
voice for
definitely
Gandalf?
No.
What?
Gandalf's not in it.
Oh,
Not yet.
oh.
Not yet.
Okay.
I definitely find myself lapsing into narrator voice though when I read off the stuff. It's,
Nice.
It's
In a Middle Earth.
in a Middle Earth far
Is
away.
it like all ages? Pretty easy to play. I mean, did you get
It's-
kids involved?
You can, yeah. It's not
Especially if
like
you don't like 'em.
shoots and ladders,
Yeah.
right? But the way that they do everything is actually pretty ingenious because it's a little bit board game, but it's also a little bit deck builder too. So you have a hand of cards that you shuffle up, and then anytime you do anything in the game, whether it's attack, defend, interact with something, it's called a test. And then what you do is you basically
bring out the Scantrons.
Yeah, basically. What you end up doing is, every test will test one of your attributes, whether it's might or agility or wit or spirit. So it'll tell you test might. And
Test your might.
Test your might. Fight. So you flip over that number of cards. Some of the cards are just completely blank. Some of the cards have success symbols on them, and then some of them have what they call fate symbols. To turn a fate into a success, you have to spend inspiration that you gain throughout the game. So sometimes for a test, it'll tell you, do this test, you need 2. Sometimes it'll just say, do this test. And then you flip over your cards, and you convert successes, and then you plug into the app how many successes you got, and then it tells you if you succeeded or
All
not.
failed.
Yeah. Well, you sucked. Yeah. It's great. It's very simple. I've tried to explain people the FFG Game of Thrones board game, and it takes like 45 minutes to go through everything because there's just so much and it's such a dense.
And even then, like the first session you play is
got to play a training game, right? You play like 4 rounds of a training game. Journeys in Middle Earth. We played this weekend with a couple of friends of ours, and we literally explained the game in 15 minutes.
Nice.
And we're playing, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is easy." Right? I mean, it's so simple.
But the strategy gets pretty complex, though.
It does. It's like it's like any FFG game where there's you get a set amount of actions and there's keywords and there's triggers and there's all of that. Being an FFG veteran of a bunch of different FFG games, it's very natural for me to distill that down and explain it to people that have no exposure to FFG games.
Yeah.
So for us, it was, oh no, you can't do that, or here's the interaction. Okay, we got it. We played the campaign. It's a narrative campaign that I think is 11 missions or 14 adventures. We played the first 4, and by like the middle of the second game, it was just go, 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 go. Everybody understood it.
Nice.
There was no like, well, how does this work? There was all the questions were answered. Everything was done, and it was just blow through. It was great. It's a fun game. And the minis are great too. I've got all the heroes painted up.
Yeah.
And they were a lot of fun to paint. I've never painted anything fantasy before because Star Wars has been, Legion's been my only miniature game that I've ever played. So I never even painted, my own D&D minis from back in the day. They were always, pre-painted because my buddy had them or something. So learning some tips and techniques from some good painter who will remain nameless, John, has helped me a lot, and I think I've grown as a painter playing the game too because it's different painting fantasy minis than army minis.
You're gonna start stripping your stormtroopers and start over again?
No.
Now I was gonna give you some props even before you started. Like your stuff has looked really good. Seeing the pictures that you've posted from just the Legolas model and the Bilbo Baggins model.
Bilbo, that Gimli though, that Gimli is so good. Man. I still look at it and I'm like, I'll take it and I'll show it to Nova and be like, look how good this is. This is good. And she's like, yes, shut up about it already. Yeah.
Yeah, you're learning. I mean, you picked up I basically explained to you how to use the different kind of shading, different washes per color. Don't just use. Some people just like to use the army strong tone for everything.
Right.
And it's like that doesn't.
Woo!
That works, but you're not really enriching your color.
Right.
Yeah,
no.
Use your Agrax Earth
thumbs up
shades
from
and
you?
your Athonian camo
Yes,
shades.
very much thumbs up. Look at that, Matt.
Yeah, that turned out really
Isn't
good.
that great?
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a great job with
It's
those.
not purple or anything.
No.
So,
John, I know we've been playing another game.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah. What's up?
Do you like movies about gladiators, Joey? You ever seen a grown man naked? Like hanging around?
Have you ever been to a Turkish prison? I know you've been to Turkey.
I don't think I ever went to prison, but
Nice.
I may have just washed that.
You thought it
memory
was
out
just
of
a
my mind.
club.
Was there some delight there?
No.
So we've been playing Arena Rex, and
Yeah.
Arena Rex, I got started on it. My buddy bought me one of the little starter sets at LVO, and because I was walking around looking at the display cases, and it was like some of the most stunningly painted models I've ever seen.
And they did paint the hell out of those models.
Oh, they did, yeah. So I saw that. I'm like, all right, cool. I want to paint those up. So I picked up a set of those. It sat in my closet for 3-4 months now, and we just started playing around with it, and it's a really fun game. Totally change of pace from Legion. You play typically 3 to 5 models total. There's no point values or anything like that. It's basically everything you have is on the card.
Yeah.
You don't need a huge table. It's a 30-inch diameter circle.
Playmobil.
Yeah,
So,
Playmobil Coliseum.
Yeah. So you play in a very small space. It plays really quickly. I learned the first game, even the first trial game we played, it took me about 45 minutes to get into it. And even playing like the 3-player games we do, it typically is no more than an hour.
Yeah, and one of the things that really it is a light rule set. It's very kind of different from Legion in that respect. Also, there's a lot of traps and things that play a major part of the game. The intro game that we were playing, we had like a pit trap that is just an instant kill if you get tossed in the pit, and there's plenty of ways to do that. I think we had like 6 bodies in it by the end. It was no longer a pit. It was just kind of a mound.
Nine models total on the table, and 6 of them ended up in the pit.
We just kept trying to throw RKO everybody into the pit. So.
If there's no point values or anything, how do you balance? How do you know what's a balanced game?
So it's not a competitive game. Like
so there are people who play competitively, and I strongly recommend you do not, because there are some very obvious breaking combos in the game. So we've very much house ruled it, and basically we just kind of stay within the different faction Luduses.
Yeah,
so.
And it's not a game where you're gonna like min-max things or whatever. Like everything is basically a 4-up. So if I'm rolling to hit, like each guy has an attack value. So like if I have an attack value of 6, I roll 66. And a 4-up hits.
Yeah. So it's 50-50 on every die.
But basically they self-tune kind of the model. So if it's going to be an outrageously fast attacker guy, guess what? He's going to have very few life boxes and health and defenses and things like that. So it's... you've got your tanky characters that don't do as much damage. You got your big guys. There's like wrestling dudes that their special abilities to pick people up and throw them around, and
you have one dude who is NSFW.
Yes, yeah.
He hangs dong.
Yeah. It's there's not even a shirt for that.
That's got to be a very interesting model to paint. It's like I can just imagine that I'm sitting there if I were painting that guy, like Nova comes over, what you painting? This guy?
Greek wing doodle. Why?
Yeah.
Luckily, he's rocking the 70s bush, so you're not going to have to...
He's got a little turtle head poking out.
Wonderful. Thanks. Way to paint a picture there, buddy.
Thank you.
But, he's like the Greco-Roman guy, and he, like, Zangiefs people. And they're like,
he's really good.
No!
But the models themselves,
they look
beautiful
great.
sculpts.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
A nightmare to put
terrible
together.
casts.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're true casts. Like they're like real life proportions as opposed to,
for the most part,
what was it like? 40K is considered what, hero scale or something like that?
Yeah, heroic.
Yeah, so this is like real scale. So the
closer. Yeah,
the
I don't
joints.
know what that means.
So essentially, the joints are a lot more
like
narrow.
Space Marines, you'll have like oversized
pauldrons.
hands and giant pauldrons and things like that. These are, they're a little bit exaggerated, but they're
think Eldar versus Space Marines,
okay,
along those lines. So there's some poses that are very like one of your characters is this very shapely woman who's got like a her arm extended and a whip, and it's like very little brittle points that could snap off.
No. My favorite guy so far, and the one that gave me the most, was the Egyptian guy with the giant axe, who had a separate little like King Tut beard. Trying to get that to glue onto his face was a nightmare.
Wow, and I was mad about having to glue a box together.
Yeah. But overall, it's a very fun game. Some very evocative models, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, my favorite thing with it so far was so the game itself is a very small company who makes it, and
it's a place out of Texas, Red Rock or something, Red River or something.
Yeah, and they don't do like any terrain sets on their own, but they have. And I don't know if the game was designed this way intentionally or not, but the game fits exactly within the parameters of a Playmobil Roman Coliseum that they have on sale.
And he used 70s and 80s kids who grew up with the Lego knockoff Playmobil know what we're probably talking about.
Yeah, it's like the GoBots of Legos.
Right? Yeah. But the thing was on sale for $40 last week. I think it's normally like 60 or 70, but
yeah, 50 or 60, something like that. Yeah.
But for anybody who's purchased GW Terrain to know how much that can cost.
Oh, sure.
I mean, this is a
bargain.
massive
It's huge.
Roman Colosseum for $40, which comes in this gross orange plastic color. But my project this week has been painting it up.
And I love how on their website there's literally a guide on how to paint the Playmobil arena.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
obviously there was some inspiration, like, hey, I've got this thing sitting around from my childhood. It wouldn't be cool if we made a gladiator game out of this.
I just like a bit of fly on the wall in the boardroom meeting in Playmobil, assuming they have an entire board.
Why are
and
they
they're like,
selling like crazy?
remember that Roman Colosseum we designed back in like '84? For some reason, they're going the sales are going through the roof right now. But yeah, it's it's been a fun game, fun hobby project, and while Legion's still my main focus of a game, it's been a nice change of pace.
Yeah, for sure. You can just knock it out, play it real quick. It's kind of the same thing I've been filling in with X-Wing 4 here and there.
Yeah,
just plays a little bit quicker. Don't have to faff around too much.
Well, you've had to kind of distribute your attention, being a game store owner and all. I mean, I'll sneak in here sometimes. You're busy playing Magic or something like that. So
Yeah.
You've never been somebody who just is focused on one game.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, pretty much. I'm a tourist of many games. Legion is still number one, though. Don't worry.
It's the only place you can get a T-47.
That's right. Yep, for real though.
But if you want to stick with Legion, there are some cool ways to kind of switch up the game.
Oh yeah,
and still make it balanced, competitive, fun. Still get the same experience you get out of the actual, the typical 800-point game, but add some variety to it. Now, one way that we saw was Kevin Valier's Imperial Discipline blog recently put out an article about 500-point games.
Yeah.
And he does a really nice job of, kind of showing how you can adjust some of the scenarios. He creates 3 different scenarios, basically modifications of what we normally see in a typical 800-point 6x3 game. He's got one breakthrough. He's got a
King of
the Hill, which is kind of like a modified intercept the transmission, I guess. It's like
but with only 1 point in the middle.
Exactly. Yep. And then
deathmatch.
Yeah. Literally just
kill each other.
Yeah, kill each other.
Which some of these harken back to
no respawns
when we got the original box set. When we all kind of were playing around for a couple weeks with the 3x3 board and just the kit that came with the original box. Now, if you compare those early games to what we have now or what we've been seeing now, the value of different units changed drastically depending on the board size.
Oh, sure. Oh, Fleet Troopers, which are already fantastic, put them on a 3x3.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, Snow Troopers, too.
A tank.
Sure.
Wait, a tank?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, with range 4, it's really good on a 6x3 table.
Yeah.
On a 3x3,
it's really good.
You could post up on any corner and pretty much have reach out and touch anything on the board. So that becomes very powerful. But units like Vader, Vader was dominant when we first started playing.
Oh yeah,
because when you don't have to worry about running across the board, for the first 3 turns, you can make a lot more of an impact right off the bat.
Vader says, "I'm going to intercept that transmission right there. Everybody else can come try to take it from me."
Right.
So there's that's a unique way of playing the game that I think it's still close enough to what we've been playing, but it's
designed to play a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So you don't always have
like a
75-minute
time limit.
Yep,
something like that. 5 rounds at the most.
The command structure is a little different. You only need to have minimum of 2 core units, maximum of 5, and then every other unit type except for commanders is limited to 1 less than normal. Right. So 2. Also
1
operative,
heavy, 2 special forces, unless you have Krennic, and then you can put 3 DTs in there.
Yeah.
But there's no points in there to put 3 DT units and 2 core units and Krennic.
Exactly.
It's I played around with some with Battlescribe, just trying to make armies, and now that I've played the 500-point or the 800-point game, it just seems very limiting. It's like 2 stormtroopers and a death trooper and a sniper, and it's just like it just didn't
it's weird when you can't cram 800 points of troops into 500 points.
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. It's just,
okay. My mistake.
When you're used to running 2 death troopers, 2 snipers, and then 4 or 5 core units, and then it just seems like like it's like steak, but it's like you get like
Steakums?
little tiny. Yeah, well, it's like you're used to eating a Big Mac, and then somebody hands you a couple of White Castles, and it's just like. I want more.
I think it just changes the way you have to play the game. If you have,
right now.
if you can put 2 units of Death Troopers out there, you've got redundancy, and you can play a little bit more aggressively with them. If you've got 1 unit of Death Troopers, you may need to be a little bit more conservative with that unit if you don't want them to get blasted off the board right away.
That's fair. Yeah,
so I think it changes the way you play your game, and I think it actually is more tactical.
We'll have to give it a try sometime.
Yeah, we've played a couple of the scenarios recently where you actually start with like that escalating points values.
Yeah.
The last season's specialist kit, or what was it, the operatives kit?
Yeah.
The first couple battles were like that, and I thought they were fun. Jeff and I had a really good game that came down to 1 dice roll, and it was very methodical of trying to just figure out who can outrange who. So I had a lot of fun with it. It's is it better than 800 points? No.
But it is different.
It's different.
Yeah, shake things up a little bit.
Yeah,
Speaking of, you've got a suggestion for a format we can try.
Yeah, so kind of going along with that same idea of playing on a 3x3 condensed board size, lower points. One game I used to play a lot before Legion was Horus Heresy, or 30K, however you want to call it.
Wait, you actually played it?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't just collect the models?
No, I mean, believe it or not, I actually did play a few games.
Wow, okay.
But we played a game called, a version of it called Zone Mortalis. And Zone Mortalis was basically a way for Forge World to sell overpriced board tiles.
Nice.
No, Forge World sells something overpriced? No.
Yeah, but it was a cool game, though, because really what you're doing is you're playing boarding actions. You think of with 30K, 40K, there's a lot of ship to ship boarding actions, and the same thing in the Star Wars universe. You think about the very first scene, the very first movie. Darth Vader and a bunch of stormtroopers are. What's up?
The text crawl.
No. I mean, you got the fleet troopers squaring off down a hallway against stormtroopers and Darth Vader, and I think it'd be really cool to kind of recreate that. So maybe do a scenario where you do have 500 points, 400 points, something like that. Do a 3x3 and put a bunch of hallways, like interconnecting hallways, doorways.
Remind me when we're done, the guy that actually has all those, he backed a Kickstarter for a bunch of hallways. He's here today, so
he's here today.
Yes, he is. So we'll go talk to him about getting that set up.
No kidding, because we're gonna have to. I was literally going to mention that I saw those on Kickstarter. I was like, those are really cool. We should look into that. It was posted about a week and a half ago.
Okay, it's probably a different company, but it's basically the same idea.
Or maybe it was
modular,
a week and a half. Yeah,
kind of.
And they're like MDF cut, laser cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the same thing I'm looking at.
Yeah,
they're awesome looking.
I think he's painted them all by now because he got them a couple months ago. So
wow,
we can make this happen, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, so
another stream idea coming.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, and with that changes the dynamics and value of what units are playable even more, because now fleet troopers and snow troopers are probably the best units in the game. Mm-hmm. Being able to throw 2 white dice per guy at range 2, range isn't a big deal.
I would like to
flamethrowers inside.
Interject and say Luke Skywalker is probably still the best unit in the game.
Luke Skywalker would be really good, but honestly, Vader might be better now because you're not having these corridors. Jump 2 is not going to matter because you're
That's
not
because you're going to hit your
Bonk.
head.
Yeah, exactly.
Ow. That's why he wears the flight helmet in some of the sculpts.
Oh, that's probably true. Yeah. Well, he's a little short for a stormtrooper, so he doesn't have
might
to worry
clear it,
about.
actually,
yeah, some of the stormtroopers have issues I have. Hitting your heads on doorways. But I think it changes a lot of the value of certain units. Obviously, you're not going to see vehicles in it unless you're going to play maybe you could have a hangar bay, where maybe there it opens up a little bit and you can actually have.
You get to activate an ATST or something.
Sure, yeah. You can come up with scenarios like that. But, I mean, you could do... I was thinking just right off the bat, have Leia and Vader out there and have Leia have to get to the escape pod.
And having Leia running away from Vader, yes.
Yeah, you could do something like that. You could have, a scenario where there's you're in a ship that's blowing up and you need to get to the escape pod. So, the more units you can get to escape pods, the better. There's a lot of different scenarios you can come up with, and I just think it changes the way that you're going to see the game played. And I think, like I said, that's what we need right now.
Yeah, I'm excited to try that out. Sounds fun. What do you think?
No, I think it sounds really neat. I mean, boarding actions. It almost gives it kind of a kill team, kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you play full 800 points.
Yeah.
No, I said like four or 500 points.
Yeah.
I think on a 3x3.
Yeah.
Would probably be the best way to do it. And plus, because you're kind of limiting yourself.
If we're going to do a 3x3, if we're going to build like a bunch of tunnels and hallways and rooms and stuff.
I'm just trying to think of how many hallways I'm going to have to paint, Matt.
Oh, well, like I said, this dude's already got all that stuff, so.
It almost makes it like it's like Mario Kart, trying to steer all of your troops around
Rainbow Road?
and stuff. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, exactly. And that kind of comes into how you're going to set up your units, because trying to snipe units out who are around corners is going to make it a lot more difficult.
Right.
Can we put in random exploding barrels?
Sure, I'm fine with
A
that.
pit you can throw guys into.
Yes! Blow people out the airlock?
Saboteurs would be nasty in this game mode, too,
yeah,
by the
that's
way.
a good point. Yeah.
Probably shouldn't mention this around Jeff.
Yeah, he just needs half an excuse.
Right.
Can we do gladiatorial Star Wars combat in your new
we
arena?
could. We're going to repurpose the Coliseum for the Geonosis
Oh, the Geonosis.
arena.
Yeah.
We're going to have a random Django Fett head at the bottom. That'll be great.
And it might be anachronistic, but we can totally put the Jabba the Hutt with Slave Leia sitting on like a dais up there somewhere.
Ooh, that'd be good. The golden slug.
Yeah.
Nice. Great.
How's
How's your Felucia board coming, by the way?
Dude, look, I'm ADD with this stuff, okay? Like, I get
hops from
distracted
project.
by one project to the other. I literally have a bag full of Felucia, like,
It's a good
flora
thing
and
that
fauna.
he paints as
sitting-
quick as he does
Right.
when he does.
You got
'cause,
distracted by hanging dong. That's what you got to do.
it's distracting.
It is. That's pretty much all I got this week.
Yeah,
We
that sounds
got any
fun. We got some
Patreon
ideas.
stuff?
Yeah, we've got a new Patreon Outrider that is supporting the show. So thanks to Riley Bushman. Much appreciated.
Hey, Riley.
Yay.
Welcome.
Yay. Did I say the update about the shirts?
No.
Nope.
We were hoping the shirts would be done yet. They are not done yet. So hopefully we'll have an update again next week. But they should be coming out soon? Question mark. Barricada shirts on the way. Stay tuned.
They're probably somewhere with the down ATSTs right now.
Ooh. Yeah. But no, yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We will catch you next week.
You've been listening to the Legion Outriders podcast, a member of the Radio Free Tatooine Network.
Only now, at the end, do you understand?
For more from the Outriders, make sure you like us on Twitter at Legion Outriders, subscribe to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Legion Outriders, and make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast. Thanks for listening.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.